What's up, guys? It's me, your boy Trav. Gloria over here, the familiar. She's helped me code today, obviously. And we're going to be talking about my 12th week at the boot camp, San Diego Code School, sponsored by Captain Keno's. So, if you've never been there, crab legs Saturdays, y'all. Magnifique. Okay. Well, I'm week 12 or 13 of the 12-week boot camp of the core module, and it's pretty emotional, guys. I am wrapping up the last part of the core module, and which entails React 200. Now, React 200, we have a couple projects where, one, we have to go out and get some weather, your local weather, and you bring that data in through an API, and you kind of have to do a little bit of manipulation of that data and bring it to the front end, set up a server and all that type of stuff. And the last project, which I'm working on currently, is the Movie Finder project. And you use a React router and a OMDB API, and you create a little app that allows you to go out and look for movies and representations of it, plots and titles, and bring that to the interface. And let me tell you guys, it's pretty hard, dude. Pretty hard. I mean, it's not as hard as the VSTDA, you know. I've gotten some help. I've watched videos. I've done stuff like that. But the hard part is that, you know, you're learning all this tech. You're learning all this language. You're learning how to speak to people. You're working with a group. Some of the stuff isn't just easy to figure out. I mean, you have to look on GitHub and look at other people's code. As my boy Tony, the guy that helped me on the beginning, told me, he said, "Hey, bruh, code it like you stole it," you know? And you just kind of, you know, you learn from code like that. I've learned a lot through what were you doing? We call Redux, and Redux basically is what you're learning in this last module. And basically, what that does is it allows you to take your app, and you have a lot of things like components and props that are all over the place, and it helps you have them in one central area called your store. Now, in your store, you have all, you know, let's just say your variables or whatever, and then you have all your components. And when you want to send that data down, when you render it through your props into your children, you use things called reducers, and reducers kind of relay that information, and you have actions that are kind of like the functions part of Redux, and you send your information down, and when that's changed, it sends it all the way back up to the store, and it comes back down, so it simplifies it, but it kind of gives you a sense of direction. So the first thing you usually do is you come in and you look at what does the client want, you know, not the client on the server side, but what the client wants. And you start drawing all that stuff up, and you draw how your components are going to work, and you draw arrows, and like me, I have colors and make things happen and see how things work. And what I learned to do, which I stole from my buddy Frank, is put project notes in your app. And I should have done this from the very jump of doing this stuff, but have notes inside your actual code, like a note file, and then code as you go along and start writing about like how where this component's going to be connected, and this guy's going to affect this, and this is going to affect this, and then just strike line through those as you've created that part of the app. Now, I was able to overcome these challenges that I've been facing through things like Gloria, this magic 8-ball. I recommend having a magic 8-ball because sometimes you need those days where you need that little bit of confidence. My 20-sided die, because when I want to roll them crits, I'll try to get like a, I can't even find it now, a little 20, my 20-sided die. I'll talk to this. And then, you know, have something you could talk to besides those things, besides a cat. Have an eagle. You know, you can squish it, but talk to your eagle. This was given to me by Margaret at San Diego Code School. And, you know, I talk to these things like rubber ducking. And you know, I overcame these challenges this week. I'm still working on this movie finder. I'm looking at it. I've used GitHub. I've looked at other people's code. I've found a couple of videos, and I've looked for answers out there. And you know, that's the only thing I say to you guys. Like, that was the most important thing I learned this week, was just keeping track of everything you do. Use Trello, and just keep track of your progress. And that's how I figured all these things out. And any advice I have for anybody wanting to learn about React and Redux is just reading and YouTube in your hands on the keyboard, y'all. Like, that's the only thing you do, is just code, break shit, make shit, fix it, and you know, go from there. You know, this, from what I'm getting into the part of my education at San Diego Code School where I had the rug pulled out from underneath me, and we're moving into the last part where we start doing our sprints and agile type of work. So from a fabricator point of view, this is something that's, you know, I understand all this type of stuff, and somebody who worked with, like, you know, been a boss over 50 plus people on a project, you know, this is where everybody has their little kind of things they're working on, and you delineate that work out. You have your stand up at the beginning of the day. You have your dailies, your weeklies, your monthlies, and so we're basically going to do a 1 week sprint, and then a 3 week sprint with a local internship. And I know everybody on my team. I've got this dude Brandon, he's awesome. My boy Frank, and this girl Austin, and I really like them a lot. All these people are really smart and really driven. So I think we're going to crush it, and hopefully I can learn a lot from them, and hopefully they can learn a lot from me. And being a guy who's very well versed in artistry and design and fabrication, I can bring enough to the team that we can all grow, and we all grow in our little spaces, and hopefully I can get better at coding. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? And we just, you know, we just try hard and keep our, you know, get our seat time in and make it happen. So I'm looking forward to talking to you guys next week after we do our first week in this project. And you know, it's been a rad journey, and anybody who wants to do this, just, you know, go for it. If this is what you want to do, and you like to do logic and puzzles and get to it, and you want to cry and pull your hair out and pet cat, and grow, and, you know, see how much you're gonna grow. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, I mean, I can imagine, but I can see how far I've grown in these past, like, 13 weeks. Like, I barely could do a for loop, and now I'm running a reducer and, you know, a bunch of methods on these motherfucking functions. So, all right, guys, I love you. Sorry about my curse words. Work hard, keep coding, and code it like you stole it. At your boy.